Welcome to the Business Leader Spotlight Show.
I want to welcome everyone to the Business Leader Spotlight Show. This is Randy Van Ittersum, your host for today. Today we have with us Marvin Soleimani, a leading divorce attorney in Atlanta, Georgia. He's here today to talk to us about some of the legal issues you can encounter in a divorce. Marvin, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And tell us, I'm sure this comes up all the time during that consultation, and that is everybody wants to know the cost of a divorce.
Sure.
What can they expect to pay, and who's expected to pay the cost?
Yes. Well, and that question is the variable on basically, and it touches upon what we were talking about earlier, how hotly contested this divorce case is going to be. Typically, all the attorneys, I know only basically a handful of them in the United States that do not do this, but typically every attorney charges an hourly fee, whether it's the attorney doing the work, whether it's the associate doing the work, or whether it's a paralegal doing the work. And it's all basically a factor of how much work is being done in your case. Clients are expected and should demand to receive itemized monthly billing statements from their attorneys that detail specifically what type of work and who the work was performed by, so they can have a good understanding of what the fees are going to be. Because usually, the first bill that they receive is sort of the shock and awe bill, because it may be the first time that they've hired an attorney. So the level of detail is important. As to who is expected to pay the attorney's fees, in most states, the party who has control of the assets is going to be required to make those assets available to the other party. And the goal is, in a divorce case, courts across the country want to make sure that there's a level playing field between the husband and the wife, because obviously it would be inherently unfair if one of the parties had control of the money and the other party was not able to secure legal representation. So in the event that for some reason a party is about to go through a divorce and they don't have access to the money, I don't want them to feel like all is lost. I mean, there are statutes, like I said, across the country that will allow that party to petition the court to either order the other party to pay for the attorney's fees or to give that party access to the marital estate so that he or she can have adequate use of funds to hire representation.
So basically, if somebody were a non-employed spouse, there are protections there so that they can go forward if they feel that they need to get out of the marriage.
Absolutely. And the other good thing is that they don't have to wait, obviously, until the end of the case. Usually in divorce cases, there are what's called interlocutory hearings or temporary hearings, and these are hearings that are generally held in the first 30 to 90 days of the filing of the divorce action. And one of the important things during those initial hearings is to make sure that both parties have sufficient funds available to them to be able to proceed with obtaining and continuing representation opportunity.
Thank you for listening to the Business Leader Spotlight Show.